Grizzlies fans, welcome into another Grizz Game Day update. Today, the Grizzlies take on the Orlando Magic for the final time this regular season. First time since January. So joining me once again is Khobi Price. Are you ready to break this one down?
I am. Let's get it.
He's made it to Memphis, so it's time. We finally get to see each other tonight. We get to cheer on separate teams. Look, the thing about Orlando, I think, is that although they are a 32-win team right now, they're better than their record, I think. They have 6 guys who are averaging in double digits. Like, they have scorers, right? Like, they have Markelle Fultz, who at one time was like a gift to basketball before injury. They have Gary Harris. They have Banchero, who's another little gift to basketball. Cole Anthony. Like, we could go down the list of like guys who can score on this Orlando team. This hasn't all like come together, I'll say, quite yet for the Magic. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, are arguably the hottest team in the NBA right now. They've won 9 of their last 10. Orlando's won 4 of their last 5, actually, against some teams that are going into the playoffs. So I think my first question to you, to just like start off, baseline question, what isn't working for Orlando? Like, they have such good pieces, and I feel like they play hard. What's not going together? What's not clicking?
I think it's just a lot of the ups and downs that come with being a younger team, a lesser experienced team.
Yeah.
Just a lot of the guys, like you talk about Paulo, you talk about Franz, like that's a first and second year player right there. So they're going to go through growing pains on their own. And then obviously you mentioned Markelle, and he brings a certain level of stability to the team as the lead guard, ball handling guard. But he missed the first 25 games. So there's just an adjustment. There was an adjustment period to like, all right, Paulo and Franz, you played so much with the ball in your hands to start the season. Now as we're going to like integrate Cole and Markelle a little bit more, and you get Jalen back. So there is an integration process and adjustment period for that. So I think they have their ups and downs because of that, but also getting used to one another and age. But I think since early December, they've had an above 500 record. And obviously there are ups and downs, inconsistencies within that. This comes with being young, but they're really starting to have a better understanding of what's being asked of them. I think that's shown the past week or so.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about their record. Now, it might have been early on in the season, they got down a few, but their record, like if you look at this team actually play, like they're a good team, and you would look at their record and you're like, hey, they're not. So going into this game, the Grizzlies call these ones like professional wins. Like, you want to go in and not underestimate this team because they are an actually good team. I'm going to kind of break it up between guards and bigs. Go through this because John Morant is doubtful for tonight. He has some thigh soreness. Everyone else who like should be in is in. Steven Adams is out. Obviously, Brandon Clark is out. But the guard play, I think you start Markelle and Gary Harris, and then Cole comes off the bench.
Yeah, starter for, unless there's a twist, it'll probably be Markelle, Gary, Franz, Paulo, and Wendell. Oh, but you said you want to start with the guard. So yeah, Markelle and Gary.
So that like trio of guards, and I'm including the bench and the starters, like that is a group that can put up points.
Yeah, no, you throw in, Markelle. I think for the last week, Cole's been the leading scorer of the team at 18 points a game. He's found himself into a nice groove. Jalen Suggs just came back the other night. He's provided a boost. So you have guards who can score like that for the Magic. You may not get one that scores 20 every game, but you feel like every night one of your guards can contribute 17, 18 to 20 a game. So the Magic have dynamic guards just across the board, and sometimes that's why you get you play 4 of them a night just because one of them may pop more than the other depending on the evening.
And on the other side, so coming from the Grizzly side, like we go into games a lot of times and we're like, we have the size advantage because we have, Dylan Brooks, who plays like the 2-3, but he's 6'7". We have Jaren Jackson Jr., who often plays the 4, and he's like almost 7 feet.
Right.
And I think we're going into this one being like, maybe this is like one of those games where we don't have that size advantage, because I was looking at your 3, 4, and 5. Banchero 6'10", Carter Jr. 6'10", Wagner 6'9". Does that play to your advantage? Because the Grizzlies are still one of the top teams in the league in points in the paint. It looks like Orlando's like middle of the pack. So is the advantage there for Orlando?
I think on defense for Orlando, I think it is. Offensively, maybe it depends on, I guess, how Memphis goes about it. I think I say offensively, I think the size advantage is there just because one of uh you probably have a smaller player guarding either Franz or Paulo. Because I'm trying to remember how the last matchup went. I think Adams was available last game. I could be wrong. So I think it was like Adams on Wendell, Triple J on Paulo, and then I think it was Dylan on Franz or one of. So maybe it'll be different, but I think for the Magic, just the size and being able to just get into the paint, like that's a big emphasis for them. I do want to see how they combat the rebounding part of it,
Yeah.
but just defensive rebounding. But I think offensively, just their will and the way they go about it, just continuous driving into the paint, that should be there for them tonight.
However, when you drive into the paint, you have one of, if not the best rim protector in the league, Jaren Jackson Jr., who is obviously in Defensive Player of the Year talks. He is 4 blocks away now from setting the franchise record of most blocks in a single season, averaging more than that on a regular game. Talk to me about coming into this game for Orlando. Jaren has been on a roll offensively. And then defensively all season, he has just like elevated this team's defense specifically around the rim. What threat does Jaren pose for this team?
Pretty big threat. I remember the last game, I think he had like 2 or 3 blocks within like the first 6 or so minutes. Like he made his presence known very early the last time these two teams matched up. So they're obviously going to be aware of that. This is a team that, for the talent they have, the shooting isn't always at a premium. So they live, going to the paint, driving, trying to get free throws. So that's their bread and butter. So even with a guy like Jaren, who they obviously are going to be aware of, is going to be on the scouting report, like they're going to have to find a way to round him, get through that, just because like that's their game, kick, but really drive. That's their bread and butter.
Yes, I would love that for a young team. Okay. Usually I ask one of 2 questions at the end of these. I'm going to ask you both because what the hell, right?
Why not? Let's go.
Number 1, you got to pick one single one-on-one matchup that you're excited to watch tonight.
And you said Ja's doubtful?
Ja's doubtful.
All right, so for the sake of this, I will not include Ja in this. Paulo and Jaren. Paulo and Jaren.
I like that a lot.
Really good. Yeah. Second place would be if Dylan guards Franz. Just seeing like that battle. Yeah. Mr. Stone Cold, Dylan Brooks right there. If that matchup materializes, I'm curious in that. But Paulo versus Triple J, that'll be a really
that's the one.
That's the one right there. I'm looking forward to.
Question number 2 and final question. I feel like a teacher. I'm like, and your final question for the match is, okay, we broke down like how these 2 teams score, where they get it done defensively. So fill in the blank here. If the Magic do blank well, they give themselves a better chance to win. One stat.
If the Magic do blank well, they give themselves a chance. And if the Magic take care of the ball, they'll give themselves a chance to win. Just because. Oh, can I get an explanation too, or is it just like fill in the blank? We're just going to be done from there.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that's for them. Like obviously, we've seen this. I think more so last season too. Just them coughing up the ball, and how that can kind of ignite, Memphis in transition. Like, and that just that's how things will spiral for a team against a team like Memphis. Just take care of the ball. Limit their opportunities in the open floor, and give yourselves more opportunities. I think for the Magic, they need to win the possession battle. That's what I could have said if you don't allow a bunch of offensive rebounds, but I focus on the turnover just because, that transition will get Memphis going.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies love to get out and run. They love to score off of those turnovers. Again, they even love like long rebounds. So if the Magic are taking a lot of threes, long rebounds, getting out and run, so limiting that obviously would be a key. On the other side, obviously, I'm hoping for the reverse. So lots of turnovers.
Oh yeah, lots of turnovers, a bunch of Memphis offensive rebounds, a bunch of long Magic threes.
Yeah,
just the whole trifecta right there.
Yes. Okay, the game tips off tonight at 7 p.m. So if you're coming to the arena, get there nice and early. It looks like a beautiful day. Walk if you're downtown. If you're watching from home, this one's on Bally Sports Southeast and the Bally Sports Plus app. Thank you so very much for breaking this one down for me. I'm so excited for tonight.
Me too. Appreciate you having me on.